everybody. This is Neil Peterson with LED Lighting Supply. Today you're at the Project Advantage podcast, really to help contractors and facility managers. And today we have a special guest joining just for us to talk. And that's Brady Mason again with Brady CFO. Brady, you want to tell us a little bit about your company and what you do?
Yeah. Just heads up, Mason Brady, with Brady CFO. So all good.
I'm sorry.
No. Reality is I grew up on sports, getting that name. So and it's two first names, two last names.
You said it when we were talking about football.
Yeah, it's two first names, two last names. And so I go by Brady all the time, but just for the audience to know that when they look me up on LinkedIn or anything, that Mason Brady CFO. And sorry, what was your question again now?
Well, tell me a little bit about what you do for contractors and facility managers.
Yeah. So we come in, really the best way I can describe it is we are the financial strategists that contractors have always wanted in regards to, hey, how am I thinking about growth? Do I have a financial plan for growth? How am I optimizing my taxes? We come in as a financial quarterback and make sure that there's an actual plan to achieve that contractor's dream business. That, if that contractor wants a $100 million business, they need a financial plan to get there. If that contractor wants a $30 million business and wants to have lots of side real estate developments outside of that business, but they have a cash cowing business that can fund other projects, great dream. We also help build the plan for that too. But either way, we are the financial strategist coming in and helping contractors.
Right. That's great. And it's funny. So when we had talked before prior to the podcast, trying to figure out what the angle was. And I think what we determined is we both help contractors and facility managers. You do it from running your business, and we do it by supplying them industrial and commercial lighting for their customers' requirements, all the way from helping them select what the right product is to on-time delivery, high quality support, et cetera. So it's very unique, but whereas you have customers or followers and we have followers, we felt this would have been a good adder for both of them. And so what do you find, so when you first talk to someone, what do they say is their biggest pain point from a contractor standpoint?
There's actually two things that come to mind, if you don't mind. So one is, I don't have a level of confidence in my financial reporting and my accounting whatsoever in regards to giving me information that will actually be useful to me for decision making. And I mean that in a lot of contractors, they struggle like understanding their WIP reporting, their work in progress reporting, to understand how they're performing on their jobs and how does it relate to the big picture of their income statement and balance sheet. They struggle with that. And so we end up doing a lot of coaching in regards to how to read that, obviously making sure that it's accurate and correct before we show them how to read it, but how to actually interpret that data to actually make good quality decisions. Number two, the big thing that a lot of them are coming is saying, hey, I'm really tired that I have a local CPA, but it feels like we don't really have any planning discussions, or if we do, they're not really good or they're way too late. And I want somebody thinking about how do I save money on taxes, not on December 15th. I want somebody thinking about it July or August as to how our business is tracking and figuring out how can I make sure that I keep that money in my pocket and I don't have to pay it out to the state or IRS unnecessarily. And so those are the two big things that, we hear a lot from our clients.
When you think of contractors, you've got those guys that have 1 or 2, 3 trucks, you have those medium, and then you have the big guys. I mean, we deal with all levels of it, but, do you help those small guys in addition to larger organizations?
I would say, particularly for our firm, we're better suited for slightly bigger organizations that usually we're trying to work with contractors 10 million and up in annual revenues. That's not to say that we couldn't serve, a lower or smaller size organization. We've just found that honestly, even, from a tax perspective, some of the things I just mentioned, when you're a $5 million general or specialty contractor of any sort, a subcontractor, your number one focus is to build a sales function as well as an operating function to get you to 15 to 20 million. And then I would say then that the more complex financial strategies that a CFO can help you with begin to make more sense. But literally for a $5 million contractor, I'd tell them, or even 2 or 3, I tell them your number one goal, because at that point, you're probably just a lifestyle business. I'm being honest. And your number one goal is go get an operator to help get the project management things off of your plate so that you can delegate the actual job management, and then figure out how to sell and figure out how to get more jobs and more pipeline coming through and fill up your backlog. Get to the point that you're a 15, $20 million business. The tax issues then become really relevant. Before that, they are not as relevant. Figure out how to get to that point, and then the CFO ultimately can help you with a lot more. But stay lean and mean. Figure out an operator to help you get, manage projects, and then figure out how to sell.
So that sweet spot's that 10 million up, and how do they get to 100 million and manage their business to do that? Now, do you find they're mostly commercial, industrial focused, or some residential, or is it?
Yeah, for us, we can work with contractors of all type, whether they're focused in the industrial space, commercial space, whether they're civil contractors, even residential. Like we have the capacity to work with all of them. It just happens that a larger portion of our portfolio happens to be more commercial focused, commercial GCs and subcontractors. But by all means, the elements across many of them in regards to stronger financial management and job costing, accounting, all that is still relevant. That everything that we do for one client that could be a commercial focused GC that goes and builds buildings could be relevant for a civil contractor working on infrastructure and roads, right? So, yeah, I would just probably say with some of the civil contractors, the asset intensiveness is probably a little bit bigger, right?
Yes.
So,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And I think, where the common thread comes in, I mean, again, you're helping them to execute on their business. We're supplying them product in order to sell to their customers, and what they quote, what they promote. We find that in our business, we provide our customers a very formal quote that they can migrate into what they're selling. There's margin to be made. And again, I assume your services helps them align their business so that they have a system that does that. Is there a specific?
yeah. I mean, we're wanting to, obviously to be able to even have a quality financial plan to think about the future, we have to basically batten down the hatches first, right? We have to make sure that there are good procurement practices in place that, hey, how you're actually buying your materials and how you're marking up the prices on those materials for your jobs, and that what you estimated was and what you bid on as your job profitability is actually what's coming out. And so that's a ground, a framework that we have to make sure is buttoned up, because we can talk about, future planning and that, hey, maybe we could have this cash to go do this investment, or we can invest in growth in this business. Um, Got to make sure that the cash is coming, right?
Yeah, and that the prices you thought you bought things at is what it really cost you, and there weren't other costs associated with it, or whatever those issues may be. Having a vendor that's standing behind you, making sure you get what you need when you expect it, or when they commit to do it. And again, I think when we look at our business, the contractors find us, whether they find us on the website, that it's a referral, or they've worked us with before. Our real focus is to make sure we identify what their real requirements are, so there's not a mistake in the product selection. I mean, there's nothing worse than them getting a product, getting it half installed, and the customer says, geez, that's not enough light, or, oh, I don't like that. The glare's too bad. And, so we've really added into we initially qualify, we recommend what the solution is, make sure it's within their budget, the lead time's adequate. But then in many cases on the more mid-sized to large projects, we do what's called a lighting plan. It tells you exactly how many lights you get, what it is, where they'll be installed, and what the light level is the customer can expect. In many cases, we provide pictures to demonstrate that. So we've actually probably in years never had someone that said they didn't get enough light.
And that stuff is great because there's been an evolution in a lot of, more design functions with contractors, right? That they're not just building a building and just building it according to the specs that, are within the architectural agreements and that type of stuff. That there has to be consideration that, hey, what we're doing here, it will actually make an exceptional experience that, you're going to walk into that room and actually enjoy the experience. It's not, you don't feel like you're walking to a hospital because you have, particular lighting that would, very fluorescent lighting that would be awful. And so, I think that aspect of, I think contractors evolving to, yeah, understanding the ROI of, hey, particular product selection is really important to create a really good quality experience, because you want that referral from whoever you just completed that project on, right? That you want them to come and say, it's the small things that do make a really wonderful touch. Like, a particular lighting. I mean, literally, the wrong light bulb could make a room feel awful. And so the little touches make for a quality experience, and that people would recommend you to others, and then you get more work.
I mean, the interesting thing where the technology has gone, which is important, is that many of the commercial fixtures we provide now as options are wattage and color changing. So what we'll do in many cases, we'll do a plan for them and we'll set the fixture to the middle wattage. So if for some reason in their space, because the actual space may be different than what we thought it was, they can either go up or go down to accommodate it to the specific requirements. And most fixtures in the commercial space now come color changeable too. So it can be set to 3, 4, or 5. And really depending on where it's being used or the preference for the site. But most people use 5000K. And you did mention something about, that ROI. That's that's why we're in the LED business and it's really booming, is because an LED over a traditional metal halide fixture fluorescent can save anywhere from 50 to 70% of the energy usage, which it pays for itself in many cases, including labor, in under 2 years, which is really the selling advantage electricians have, or justifying it from a facility. How do you cut your costs and how do you get new material in to give better, higher quality light, brighter? Because in like a retail space, you want your building and your place to stand out. You want your parking lot bright so people feel safe to come. You have a couple dim facilities next to you. People aren't, they're going to come to you because it's bright. It's the nature of the beast.
I mean, I'd like to just, say too, for a lot of contractors that, especially if they're the prime contractor on a job for a building that is a non-exempt entity within the IRS code, whether that be government, that can include schools, a government building, hospital, government hospital, or nonprofit for that matter. There's called Section 179D. It's a Section 179D deduction that y'all should be really considering, because in those instances where the building owner is non-exempt, you can qualify for that deduction when you increase. And there's specifics that you want to look into, but when you can increase the energy efficiency of that building in a particular manner, that using LED lighting, et cetera, that you have the opportunity to claim that deduction. And so just be looking into it. Granted, make sure that you look at the details of it, make sure you talk with your CPA, but these are things too that, again, just adding to the ROI for you as a contractor, that you get the tax advantage of doing something like this, because that deduction is going to be going away about mid-year this year because under Trump's new tax bill. He is fading it out, but there is a strong push in Congress that a lot of people really liked that. That a lot of, I think general consensus is that although we want to be careful about too many, shove down our throat green initiatives, generally people were favorable towards making buildings more energy efficient with, nominal incremental upgrades, including LED lighting. And so there's a lot in Congress trying to push to actually keep that deduction in place, even though they're saying it won't renew in mid-year, but there's a lot of push to try to keep it.
Well, you also have rebates too, that, most products that are commercial products that are sold are what's called DLC listed, which the utilities accept for their rebate programs. So you can get anywhere from $20 to a couple $100 depending on the wattage you're replacing. So, and that we do help the contractors help figure that out. They fill the paperwork out, but it's really straightforward. The other thing, you mentioned the move to LED is more than just because of good lighting. It's because of the health and safety. Mercury, there was mercury in the old ballasts and things, and several states have begun to outlaw those, and they're going to go away. And so there's just a lot of environmental considerations too that are very beneficial. But there's a lot of money to be made by contractors to help people save money. So good. Well, hey, this was fun. Again, I think again when we first met, it was kind of like, oh, we're talking to the same base, but we're here and here. But again, I think we both provide value, and we wanted to give you an opportunity to speak to our base, and in turn, we're speaking to yours. So if if your base followers need lighting or commercial industrial, go to our LED lighting supply website, and you're really going to see what we have and what we can help you, and you vice versa.
Yep. No, sounds good, Neil. Appreciate this opportunity. That it's nice that it was so short and sweet too. So thanks.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you for joining our Project Advantage podcast. You have yourself a great weekend and be safe in the snow.
Yeah, stay warm out there.
Okay.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
See ya.